Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to my home. And welcome to another Monday of our next week. The peacocks are making their noise in the backyard, or not across the street in the background. I have peacocks, and there used to be a camel and all sorts of things. I don't own them, but I have the opportunity to live across the street from them. So it's actually been a pretty cool thing. Hey, Cheryl, great to see you. And Kira's here too. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so hi, my name's Rita Hickman. I'm a shiatsu massage therapist, hey Guinevere, and I'm a body mind expert. And I help women navigate all the stresses of life by teaching them about how they work, teaching them about indigenous medicines, different mental mindsets, ways to navigate. Hey Doug, way to navigate the craziness. Martin's here too, of everything that's pounding on top of us. So today I thought I would talk a little bit more about Evan's book Opportunity, and specifically talk about how we try too hard. So this weekend I went to a great conference, and it was called Celebrate Your Life. And it was in Chicago with some of my favorite authors from Hay House, Greg Braden, Wayne Dyer used to do this one a lot, Neil Donald Walsh, who did Conversations with God. It was a wonderful, intimate conference. And it really reminded me that life is so much more complex and complicated than we would like our minds than what our minds want. Our minds want this structure, want these rules so that we feel safe. But in reality, there's so much going on. All the rules have changed. Anything from evolution is now a serious, in serious question, to how we heal from trauma, how our body holds on to chemicals, brain chemicals and body chemicals until we can process through it, how imprinted we are by everything around us, by what we're watching and the people that we spend time with. Hey, Jeannie. And that the world is really a super mysterious place. But the one thing we can count on, because it's so mysterious, are opportunities to do things. So I'll start with a story. I had a friend of mine who was 100% Oneida. And one of the big differences between them and me, Oneida is a Native American tribe that originally started on the East Coast, and then a branch came over to Wisconsin. And this was a close friend of mine for many years. And we had two very different points of view. His point of view was very just relax, let things happen. And mine was nothing's going to happen unless you make it happen. If you don't take the garbage out, nobody's going to take the garbage out. If you don't build your business and hustle and get in there and make things happen, then, in 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to be sitting here doing the exact same thing that you were doing, and frustrated that you didn't move forward. So I had a very, if you're going to do something in life, you are the one who needs to do it. Nobody else can. And his philosophy, hey, Amy, his philosophy was you need to wait for the door to open. Now, there's a nice segue between the two of those thought ideas. But I love following the concept of waiting for a door to open. Hey, Stanley, on the one hand, we have to be prepared for doors to open, for opportunities, for things around us to happen. Because if we're not prepared, if we're not looking for opportunities, if we're not looking for the things that will help us move forward and help us grow and evolve and take advantage of everything, all of the cool abundance that's in life, if we're not prepared for that, then we're going to miss it. It's going to go right by us. But if we are in a mindful state of waiting for a door to open, then it means that we have prepared ourselves for the opportunities we know which are going to show up. Because the world is way too complex for opportunities not to come knocking on our door or walking down the street, whatever they may be. And when we take our mind out of the, vision boarding and structured rules and strict law of attraction, when we take our mind out of that concept and realize that we need to have a bigger goal and then look for opportunities that will move us towards that goal, that's one of the best reasons to stop trying so hard. Because in my mindset, when I was a kid, if I really wanted my life to change, I had to be the one to change it. I had to dig in. I had to make a difference. I had to put the work in. And that's true. But once you've done that, once you've, studied and been interested and been passionate, the next step is to wait for the door to open. Now, let's say we're talking about relationships. Let's say your spouse tends to minimize you, tends to say things and make you feel small, or they get angry at you. And when that happens, we go into some defense mechanism. We either fight back, or we shut down, or we run away, or we're passive aggressive. We find ways to get revenge and get back at them. Hey, Christine. So let's say our spouse, as I said, does something, or a partner says something, and we fall back into our old pattern. And then we get angry at ourselves. We say, you know what? If I'm going to make things happen, I have to make things happen. I have to say something. I'm going to stand up to them. I'm going to do something right now. And when that happens, I know when it's true for me. When I get riled up about something, I want to take care of it right now because I feel so uncomfortable. I feel so uncomfortable in my own skin that I want to take care of the problem right now, and I'm going to go. We're going to talk about this. We're going to address this. We're going to look at this. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you what's going on. And I may want to do that, but I usually won't. I'll usually then internalize it. But I'll want to do something about this now. So the way that I've kind of short-circuited that idea of I have to make things happen, I have to do things now, is I realize that I'm going to do something. I am going to address this. I'm going to say something, the right thing to my partner in the right way. I'm going to. I just need to wait for the opportunity, for the door to open. Because other people, the universe, the world, our community, our family, they aren't always ready for the same things that we're ready for. So in this situation, talking about relationships, someone can't always hear what you have to say. They could be tired. They could be irritable. They could, this could be a button for them. Maybe they're tired of feeling like they're not good enough. And when people are in that mindset, their door is closed. But if you know that you want to say something that will touch somebody's heart, that will make a difference, that will make a change, trust in that. Trust that the change is going to happen, and trust that the opportunity is going to show up. It's going to show up for you. And if you wait and watch, when that door opens, when let's say you just had a really good experience with them, or let's say they're feeling particularly good, or they just did some wrong, which they acknowledge, those are good. Those are opportunities when people can hear what you have to say. So I have a friend of mine who they tend to have a mood disorder, and when they have a mood disorder, when they get triggered, they go over the top with their feelings and their emotions. It's big, it's huge. To me, it feels like a nuclear explosion. But on the opposite side of that, they know that they lost their temper. They know, hey, Amanda, great to see you. They know that they said things that they didn't want to say, and they handled their feelings in a way that doesn't work. And so the next day, they are open because they are self-reflective. So if I tried to tell my friend, you know what, I really need you to stop, being such a jerk. I need you to stop, being so emotional around me. The time to tell them that is not when they're emotional. The time to tell them that is the next day when that door is open, that opportunity is there for them to hear you. So that's one example of, when we try to make things happen, everything else around us isn't quite ready yet. I heard this great quote once, and it was that that things are coming towards us, and we may be ready for them, but they might not be ready for us yet. They're getting ready for us. So your story, the idea that you can latch onto, is that the world is getting ready for you, and you need to be in a space where when that door opens, when that person is softer, when someone is curious and interested and they want to know more, when the weather changes, when the moon comes out, when the planets align, you need to be ready to capitalize on that. And you need to be looking for it, because if you're not looking for it, you're going to miss it. How many times have we said to ourselves, you know what, I'm going to go out at 2 a.m. and I'm going to watch that meteor shower? I know I've totally done that, but because I hadn't prepared myself for that opportunity, for the meteor shower that was coming, I wasn't ready to capitalize on it. I wasn't ready to have that magical experience of watching the meteors streak through the sky and make it seem like it's raining fire. I wasn't ready for that experience. But when I tell myself, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to go and sit outside and watch the meteor shower the next time it comes by. And I take a little bit of time and I find out when it's coming. And I start preparing for it, almost like you would a vacation. I start preparing for it and thinking of all the things that I could do and not making it huge, just preparing myself for when the opportunity arises. So that when the meteor shower comes and they say, or it's the supermoon or whatever, I'm ready to capitalize on it. Now, this is true in all sorts of relationships and personal things and career things. So this weekend at, Celebrate Your Life, I surprisingly ran into an acquaintance of mine that we had a disagreement probably about 6 months ago. Within the last year, we'd had a disagreement. And it was weighing heavy on me, and it had continued to weigh heavy on me. And we'd made, a little bit of contact, liking Facebook things, for each other. But this discord weighed on my mind. And I thought about the things that I wanted to say. But instead of forcing the issue, instead of contacting her on Messenger or, writing her the super long email or this long note, people aren't always ready for our expressions of ourself. And it doesn't mean that we can't express ourselves or that we shouldn't. It means that we wait for the opportunity. And so when I got to this conference and, I'm hanging around, it's the second day, suddenly here's this acquaintance / friend of mine who, who I'd had this falling out with. And I thought, this is the opportunity. And so I spent some time with her, and I helped her pick out some things, in the little store that was at the conference. And a little bit into it, about 10 minutes into the whole thing, I said, I need to say I'm sorry. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, our discord has been weighing on me for a year, or since whenever the discord happened. It's been weighing on me. And I wanted to say that I was sorry. Now, if I had tried to do this, within a month or two of our friction, if I tried to do that then, I probably would have come across as someone who was very self-serving, as someone who was trying to make something happen because we also had a business relationship and get her back on board. And how do I shift the situation and sway things and move it to, to my best interests? How do I make this happen? And instead I didn't. Instead I waited for the opportunity which I knew would come. I had faith, I had belief that it's a really big place out here. And if I'm looking for opportunities, they'll show up. And so here she was, and it was a perfect opportunity. And in that little moment, it took seconds. It took less than a minute for me to say that and for her to say, you know what, we're good. I've let that go. We're in a good space. In fact, I'd love to do something with you again. Let me get in touch with you. It took seconds to heal these things, but it took, months and months and months for the right opportunity to show up. And I didn't, as soon as I saw her, I didn't say, oh, I need to apologize. Instead, I waited. I waited until the door opened, until she was ready and I was ready to say what I needed to say, and she could hear what I had to say. Now, this is true in business as well. If you're looking for the things that you want to do, if you're looking for opportunities to help you grow or grow your practice or grow what you're doing, Instead of forcing something, have an idea in your mind of what you would like. Prepare yourself for when an opportunity will show up. And when it shows up, gauge, say, is this the opportunity that's going to move me forward? Is this going to take me where I want to go professionally or personally? But what gets us tripped up, what gets me tripped up most of the time, is when I think I'm uncomfortable, I have to do something now. If I don't do it, it's not going to get done. You have to make your life happen. You have to, put your boots on the ground, and you're the only one who can change your life. You're the only one who can do something about it. That's what gets in our way. That's what gets in our way of waiting. Hey, Hannah Lisa, of waiting for the opportunity that's going to move us forward to show up. It's that craving and that need to make something happen that tends to sabotage it all, tends to make everything fall apart, because people can then feel that. They feel your energy. They feel that you're trying to make something happen. And most people, when they feel pressured like that, they're going to run in the opposite direction, because they're just like you. They don't want any more expectations. They don't want anything else put on them. They don't want someone to make something happen for them. They want to decide for themselves when and how and where they live their life. And so instead of you being master of the universe, master of everything that exists, you can influence the situation. And the way that you do that is you expect and trust that something is going to show up that's going to meet your need, that's going to take you and move you forward. Something will show up, and be ready for it. Keep your eyes open. And when those doors open, then you can walk right through. Don't let yourself get distracted by all of the pettiness and the things that get in the way. Everything is an opportunity. You don't have to capitalize on everything, but it's an opportunity. And you get to decide whether you take the opportunity or not. And you get to decide whether you want to walk through that door. But I suggest to you, if you have done your thoughtfulness, if you've decided this is the direction I want to go and I'm ready, then it's going to show up. Sometimes it shows up instantaneously. So this same friend who would say, wait for the door to open, would say, I'd have a thought, and as soon as I had the thought, it happened, As soon as the thought came into my mind, somewhere, somehow, it evolved. It happened for someone. It happened somehow. So our thoughts and what gets expressed in the world can sometimes be instantaneous. And so when your thought is, I'm going to wait for the opportunity, I'm going to prepare, I'm ready, as soon as you think of those opportunities, suddenly you'll see them. It's not that the whole world isn't in front of you. It's not that it isn't all there. Sometimes we can't see it. We're not ready. They're not ready. It's not that abundance and magicalness and attraction and all of that isn't sitting there waiting for you. It's that if we aren't in a place to really work with it, to take advantage of it, then it's not an opportunity for us yet. It just isn't. So we talked about healing at this conference because I love the topic of healing. And one of the things that was discussed was how when you have a trauma in your body, especially aged 0 to 7, when you have some sort of emotional trauma and you do not have the tools to process through those emotions, those neutrophils, those emotion chemicals get absorbed into your organs, get absorbed into your body until you are ready to deal with it, until the right opportunity shows up for you to feel and express this. And this is what I always believed relationships were about. Our closest relationships are designed to trip our triggers. They're designed to push our buttons and get the deepest fears and anxieties that we have to come to the surface. Those relationships are our opportunity to heal the deeper parts of ourselves. The parts of us that were traumatized and we weren't able to deal with it, so we just compartmentalized it and blocked it away and pushed it away. Those are opportunities too. The things which scare us are opportunities. And when we can shift our perspective, just that quarter turn, just that little bit, from why is this happening to me? I can't believe that this is happening to me again, to how is this an opportunity for me to accomplish something I wanted to do? How is this person upsetting me an opportunity for me to release and get rid of these feelings which I couldn't process when I was small? How is this woman showing up at this conference? Do I walk away? Do I just say hi? Do I, acknowledge quickly? No, this is an opportunity for me to say something, to be something. And at this conference, it was great because I had access to all of these speakers that I admire. And I wasn't going to go to this thing. I had other people that were going to go, and then they didn't go. And so I went. But I looked at it through the lens of, this is an opportunity. You have to be looking for them. So I went to the conference, I took the opportunity, and of course, because that was my point of view, it was perfect. It was a small, intimate conference. I got to talk to these people. I got to share stories and hug them and get my book signed and meet other cool women who are on the same path. Instead of looking at why did this happen, I looked, how is this an opportunity to help me in some area of my life? So stop trying so hard. You don't have to try so hard because it's waiting for you. It's right out there. And when you're ready and when the situation is ready, that's when you can walk through that door and make the things happen that you want to happen. Not because you are this Amazon over the whole universe. Although you are, metaphysically you are. We'll just do that. Not because you're some Amazon, but because you know that this world is so much bigger than us, so much bigger than what we can create on our own. And so if we hold that idea and we hold that thought in place and we wait and we watch and we look, then the right opportunity is going to show up at our door and we're going to say, aha, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you and patiently, and now I'm ready to walk through. Because if you try to push, as a close mentor of mine said, don't reach out of the purple, meaning don't reach for things. Prepare, hold the space, and wait for them to show up. But it doesn't mean you don't prepare and hold the space. That's important. But do that, do your work, do the things you need to be doing, and then wait for them to show up. So I hope this was super helpful today. My conference certainly was for me. So like, comment, share, love, be a part of this great community. Comment on other people's stuff. Because if we don't come together and start resonating at a higher vibration, if we don't come together as super cool human beings who want to live a kinder, more evolved sort of life, one that's more holistic, more integrated than how we've lived before, then you can't do it alone. And this is your opportunity to be part of a group of amazing human beings which are looking to change the whole planet and move us all in the right direction. Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I plan on having one for myself. And I look forward to tomorrow. Bye.